Is now Luiso to kick it off. Jamal Willis back deep for the 49ers. Very talented, according to George Seifert, the 49er head coach, just not shined and polished yet. No wind, which is rare. And John, you've often said that these 2 months, September, October, are the best weather in this area.
That's one of the best kept secrets about San Francisco. You know, people come here in July and it's always cold and foggy and windy, and come here in October and it's beautiful. This is the Bay Area's summer.
This is great. Luiso. Willis at the goal line. Some room to about the 28. Steve Young leads the 49er offense. Let's look at Steve's supporting cast. 11 years for Steve Young. In front of him, the veteran offensive line, Wallace, Sapolo, Oates. Rod Milstead is new, and Harris Barton is back. Derek LaVille, William Floyd, the two runners, John Taylor, Jerry Rice, the wide receivers, and Brent Jones, the tight end. Steve Young on 1st and 10, LaVelle in motion. William Floyd has the ball. Tackled behind the line. Let's have a look at the Giant defense, who rose to the occasion on that first play. Strahan, Agnew, Keith Hamilton, and Robert Harris, the forefront. Mike Kroll, Mike Brooks, and Corey Miller, the linebackers. In the secondary, Randolph, Glenn, Campbell, and Sparks. 2nd and 9. Floyd got only a yard. Steve Young on the dirt portion. If he throws, he'll get back on the grass. Batted down by Strahan. William Floyd enthusiastic already.
Well, Strahan was a guy that batted it down, and they kept blocking him after he batted the ball down. See, here's Strahan here. Now, that's the thing that you do on the pass rush. Again, is you want to get a little push in the thing, 3-step drop, get the push, and then put your hands up. Strahan got his hands up, and then Steve Wallace got his hands up on Strahan after Strahan got his hands up on the ball. You know, the Giants are playing an interesting...
40 seconds on the field with the field judge.
The Giants are playing an interesting defense, Pat. They're playing a nickel. They have Tito Wooten in there. Number 29 is a linebacker, so they're playing him with 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs.
Young on the grass again. Batted again, deflected by the Giant rush.
That's what you try and do again to the rhythm, is knock off the rhythm. Now, you can knock off the rhythm of the receivers, or you can knock off the rhythm of the quarterback. 3-step drop, you get the push, then get your hands up and take his lanes away. You saw that was number 75, Keith Hamilton. What's 75? You get the pass rush, and then you take that lane away. You just put your arm out in that lane. The last 2 passes Steve Young thrown were both batted down.
Tommy Thompson is the 49er punter. Arthur Marshall back deep. Thompson really has had some difficulties since training camp punting, and that didn't help his average at all.
Hey, if there's anything that these fans and these coaches are concerned with, it's special teams.
14-yard punt. Dave Brown, the Giant quarterback, his offensive line, Elliott, Bishop, Williams, Smith, and Riesenberg. Hampton and Walker, the 2 running backs, Sherrard and Callaway wide, and Howard Cross, the tight end. Aaron Pierce, it appears, is going to open. Pierce is split wide to the right. Cross the tight end. Callaway split wide left. That's Pierce in motion. Fake to Hampton. Incomplete pass. Intended for Pierce. Let's look at the 49er defense. As John Madden mentioned earlier, they've got some replacement players. Jackson, Stubblefield, Junior Bryant gets the start. Dennis Brown, the other defensive end. Plummer, Norton, and Woodall. the linebackers, the secondary, with the absence now of Eric Davis, has Drakeford and Pope, the cornerbacks, Hanks and McDonald, the safeties. 2nd and 10. Brown. Pass is deflected by the 49ers. Brown looking wide to left. Lee Woodall got the hand up, number 54.
Yeah, this is an interesting start of this game. I think every pass has been deflected. Now, again, that happens at short drop. You see what Dave Brown is doing there. He's just like Steve Young, taking that short 3-step drop. And guys really don't have time to get open and run patterns. And linebackers just have to take short drops. And that's what Lee Woodall did.
3rd and 10. Giants at the 49er 45. Flag on the play.
That had to be Dennis Brown, number 96. He was either the quickest guy in the world or he left before anyone else did. The way when they shake their head down like that, that means they left before anyone else did.
Offside on the defense in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
You're going to see number 96. That's who it's called on, being in the neutral zone. The neutral zone, again, is the length of the ball. He was more in the neutral zone. I mean, he was in the neutral zone. Then he went to offsides. Then he went into their backfield.
And then the flags came flying. 3rd and 5. At the 49er 40. That's Herschel Walker in motion. Here's Brown. Complete to Pierce. Pierce inside the 49er 25, stopped by Ken Norton, but enough for a Giant 1st down.
Well, Pierce is one of those guys that can be a tight end, he can be a running back, and he can be a wide receiver. We see him line up in the backfield here. He starts in motion, then he stops, then he comes across underneath the linebackers. Dave Brown watches him all the way and hits him. So far, Pierce is lined up in the backfield, lined up as a tight end, and lined up as a wide receiver.
Hampton behind Walker. Rodney Hampton. Inside the 20, about the 19. Marquez Pope.
Yeah, you talk about Marquez Pope and how they were working on him last week in Detroit, throwing the ball on him. He was a safety for the Los Angeles Rams.
Got some dirt in his eye or something.
Well, you know, they're right down there in that infield part, but he was a safety and moved to corner, and they are working on him as a pass defender. But one thing you have to know, he's a leading tackler on this 49er defense.
A 2nd down at the 49ers 26 yards they need. Hampton looking for room, not finding much, and still nudges for about a yard.
Talking to George Seifert yesterday, this is the one area where he said their defense is really poor is in 3rd down conversion. And he said that's killing them because they're 45%, and that's 23rd in the league. He says we can stop them on 1st down and 2nd down, but we can't stop anyone on 3rd down. One good thing, they're playing the Giants, and they aren't very good on 3rd down conversion.
Well, it's 3rd and 7 now.
So this will be a great matchup.
Brown back. 49er blitz. Mike Sherrard broke it in and broke it out. And Brown didn't have time to get it to him.
Yeah, he would have had a touchdown, though, had he had time. So you have to give this one to the pressure because Marquez Pope was on Mike Sherrard. He has him wide open, but Lee Woodall, 54, came in there unblocked.
And he had about a 15-yard run at him.
I thought, watch him now. Now watch Mike Sherrard. He's working against Marquez Pope here. He comes in motion. Here comes Woodall. There comes Sherrard there. Look at that move that he gives Pope. He was wide open. If Dave Brown had just a little more time, that was a touchdown.
Daloiso's field goal attempt from 37 yards. Plenty long and plenty good. And the Giants get 3. And lead 3-0 with 11:34 remaining in the first quarter at 3Com Park in San Francisco. Somewhere. There usually is. Good deep kick. This one won't be brought out. Jamal Willis Steve DeBerg is the quarterback coach.
Now watch the interesting thing he does, Pat. He has a tape recorder there, and he watches every play, and he watches the defenses that the other team uses. And then he looks at the signals that they're using to get that defense in. And then he goes back, if he can get it to work right, and then replays it and check the defenses that they used according to the defenses he thought they were going to use.
That's all very scientific, but it's got to work, doesn't it?
Well, I'm not so sure. He'll get it working.
Derek Lavelle.
Be careful, you're not.
So it must have worked somehow. Now he takes what he had on the tape recorder and he puts it together with the images.
Right.
The Polaroids. See, so now they're looking at what the 49ers adjustments were, what their defenses were, and DeBerg has those thoughts of what the defenses were as he was watching on the tape recorder.
It's even more effective if the tape recorder works.
If not, you bluff.
49er first down. Jesse Campbell made the stop. This is a guy that took Ricky Waters' place.
And he's done pretty well, you know, kind of quietly. If you look, his rush yards, you know, again, this is after 4 games. He was 186 yards. Ricky Waters was 201. Received yards 170. Ricky Waters was 189. Lavelle scored 3 touchdowns. Ricky Waters, after 4 games, had scored 1 touchdown. So Lavelle has really taken over for Ricky Waters.
Now a big drop-off, and here he is again. Out to the 45. Another 49er first down. Jesse Campbell again on the stop.
I think the 49ers realize that the Giants are playing him in nickel defense. When you see number 29 in there, Tito Wooten, you know that he is playing a linebacker position. So that's what you try and do when they go nickel, when they try and play an extra defensive back against you. That's for pass. So when you counter that, you go with a run.
First down, 49ers. Jerry Rice in motion. Trying to set up, I believe, a screen pass.
Better watch out, because the guy he threw it to was the left guard, Jesse Sapullo. Jesse Sapullo and Steve Wallace, the 2 offensive linemen, were out there. It was going to be a screen pass, like you said, to Derek Lavelle. But Steve Young got it out there, and you know, hasn't gotten in his rhythm yet. You know, that's the thing that they pride themselves in, you know, the script, getting off to a quick start, getting into a good rhythm. The script hasn't worked, and they haven't gotten into any passing rhythm yet.
And when they're in that rhythm, they're as effective as any offensive unit you've ever seen. Young gives to Floyd.
Yeah, what they have to do, you see, they have to take that defense, and with the 4 down linemen and the 2 linebackers, Michael Brooks and Jesse Armstead, they have to be able to handle that run. Now, if those 6 guys can handle the run against the 49ers, then they can play an extra guy on pass defense.
3rd and 8, and of course the extra element that the 49ers have that other people don't have is the fact that Steve Young himself is such a good runner. Rice. There's that rhythm.
That's that other thing that they have. You know, Jerry Rice, not only being the great receiver he is, but anytime he gets his hands on the ball, he's such a good runner. He's always running full speed, and he's always capable of taking it all the way.
First down, 49ers at the Giant 39. The Giants lead it 3-0. Lavelle.
There's number 29, old Tito Wooten. He took that play on there because that's what they're going to do. He's a linebacker. He's that 3rd linebacker there, and you're going to see that they're going to run right at him. Here's Tito Wooten here. So you got your 2 normal linebackers here, 4 down defensive linemen. Tito Wooten is playing linebacker as a defensive back. So they look at him and say, where are we going to run? Let's run it right out there at Tito Wooten. Floyd blocks him. He gets underneath William Floyd and makes a tackle.
2nd and 9. Brett Jones, the move man this time. And here comes Steve Young. And he can run. And will.
That's a 49er offensive get out of trouble play. A bootleg to the left. Remember against the Cowboys a year ago? Watch again. A bootleg, you start to motion here, you fake it to him here, and then the quarterback comes out to this side. There's no one that runs a bootleg to the left better than Steve Young. He was looking at Derek Lavelle to throw it there. He decided not to, so Lavelle should turn from a pass receiver into a blocker.
First down, San Francisco at the Giant 26. Rice on the move. Lavelle. About 3, William Floyd with a little extra nudge.
There's a lot of extra nudges in there. You see Lavelle's helmet came off. His mouthpiece came out. He got a lot of stuff knocked off him on that play. Helmet's crooked. Can't get that mouthpiece. Can't get his equipment back on straight. You run in there in that middle, you're going to find a whole heck of a lot of guys, because on that play in the Giant defense, there was defensive linemen, linebackers, and secondary. Jesse Campbell was up in there.
2nd and 5. Flag on the play.
Prior to the snap, we got a false start on number 79 offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
Number 79 is Harris Barton, the right offensive tackle. Oops. He had to reach out there. He was going to reach out in more ways than one. And he left a little early to get his reach out. He played for the first time last week, Pat, and on the first play, got in a stance, hit his guy, and broke his finger.
And didn't know it.
His pinky finger, he calls it. He said, on the first play I'm in there, I break my pinky.
And didn't know it until he got into his stance on the 2nd play.
That's a tackle mentality.
Here's Steve Young. Gets it outside to Jamal Willis.
Jamal Willis is a rookie from BYU who George Seifert said, if something happened to Derek Lavelle, would you put in Jamal Willis or Ricky Irvins? He said, well, I'd put in Jamal Willis, but I really wouldn't feel comfortable about it. Said if it was a big situation, I'd probably go with Ricky Irvins because he's been there before.
But he can't do that today because Ricky Irvins is inactive.
So then he has to go with Jamal Willis. So he made that decision today before the game.
William Floyd, the lone back. Young will throw it. Try to get it going quickly to Rice, incomplete. Sparks right with Jerry Rice.
Sweepy Sparks played that one perfectly, although Jerry Rice is running over to the official. Here's Jerry Rice. He's going to run a slant, and you see Sparks hit him, ride him in there, and get that right hand over. Jerry Rice ran all the way over to the sideline to the official on that one.
Here's another of the 49er kickers under fire, Doug Bryan, to try this field goal. Flag on the play, however. Hold up everything.
Well, with Doug Bryan saying, that's all I need now.
Yep.
He was the guy Monday night that had a chance to tie the game and hit the pipe, although it looks like the penalty is going to be against the Giants. That'll be interesting. It won't. If it's a 5-yard penalty, it won't be enough for a first down for the 49ers, but it could be a situation where they could go for it on 4th down.
And you have that lingering question, do you take points off the board?
I think if you're the 49ers, probably one team in football that would take points off the board. But see what they have to do first is if I were George C., I would have them mark it off and then measure it to see what I have for a 4th down. Let me see it before I decide what I'm going to do.
I would guess, and this is just a guess, it's about a yard shy of a first down.
They have Bart out there doing the talking. He's a lawyer, an ex-Giant for all those years, the center for the 49ers.
Bart's just enjoying the West Coast.
I think he's enjoying this decision-making process.
Yeah. Steve Young said Bart Oates was the kind of guy you just, if you shot him, the bullet would go right through and it wouldn't hurt.
Just put something on the side and just keep on playing.
Yep.
Number 57 on a defense.
That's automatic.
Automatic first down on Corey Miller.
5-yard penalty. Repeat fourth down.
Repeat fourth down.
Well, I guess because it's on a field goal, it's not automatic first down. On a regular, on a passing down,
Defensive holding
penalty
is an automatic first down.
Oh, it is automatic.
Howard Rowe.
I was going to say, the only reason I could think it wouldn't be automatic first down is they have some special kicking rule.
I didn't follow that one.
So then you don't have to worry about the measurements or anything.
Not a popular decision with Dan Reeves. Called against Corey Miller. Now,
Corey Miller doesn't play that much anymore.
no.
He was just in on the field goal block team there.
So it's a first down. San Francisco at the 17. Lavelle hit at the line of scrimmage and knocked backwards by Michael Brooks.
And the Giants are still playing them in this 4-2 defense. The 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers. The 2 linebackers are Jesse Armstead and Michael Brooks, who we're looking at there. And then the extra defensive back is Tito Wooten, who is playing like a linebacker. And they're trying to find Tito Wooten and run at him. You can see, here's Tito Wooten right here on that side of the screen. They've been looking for Tito Wooten and running to Tito Wooten.
No backs to run this time. Ooh, Brent Jones made the reception. Vincey Glenn with a shot to the head.
Now that time they didn't run it. Tito Wooten, they threw on him. Tried to get the ball to Brent Jones. Tito Wooten was covering him, but Vincey Glenn came across and made that hit. Watch it here.
Whoa.
Brent Jones. I mean, he brought a heck of a lot more than his body. I mean, he brought a full load. Vincey Glenn, watch him. He brings shoulder, forearm, and everything. I mean, he launched himself right to the head. I think that's an illegal hit.
I think it is too.
That's the rule they put in. That's the stuff they wanted to stop.
On first and goal, gets inside the 5.
You know, the 49ers script, they always script the first 15 plays. And again, I think because they're playing them in nickel, they've run 10 times and passed 7 times. Usually, their first 15 plays would be something like 11 passes and 4 runs.
Second and goal from the 4. Giants leading 3-0. But the 49ers inside the Giant 5. Steve Young. Ever dangerous down close or anywhere. The ball is deflected and goes out of the end zone. Trying for Rice.
One thing this Giant defense is doing a good job of today is taking the rhythm away. And you take the rhythm away from the wide receivers, and you take the rhythm away from Steve Young. You see, he was looking out to the right, couldn't find anything. Then by the time he came back to the middle, there was Keith Hamilton again to knock the ball down. In fact, that hit him right in the head.
Hit him in the head.
So that's not, I mean, that was good by Keith Hamilton getting in a lane. That was bad by Steve Young. The quarterback has to find a lane.
Young. Incomplete. Intended for Brent Jones. Bounced off him. Brent Jones is upset. I don't know if it's about that hit or on that last play.
I think it was on that last play. Jerry Rice, remember, on that other 3rd down play, he was upset. And the 49ers really aren't playing well, and they're maybe spending a little too much time worrying about the officials. I think this is something that the Giants are coming in here, and the way you play the 49ers, you have to play them aggressively. And they're playing them aggressively. They're putting pressure on Steve Young. They're knocking the rhythm. They're hitting the receivers. They're doing all the things you have to do.
Field goal attempt from 22 yards is good. And we have a tie at 3-Com Park. .305 left to play in the first quarter. The Giants 3, the 49ers 3. The 22-yard field goal. 17 plays in that drive. 76 yards. Bryan kicked the field goal. He kicks off. Herschel Walker. He is cut down at about the 20. Adam Walker made the stop on Herschel. Jerry Rice on the phone, got his shoulder pads off. 2:56 left to play in the first quarter. 3-3.
He had a tape job on his left shoulder. You can see on his left bicep there the tape. He took the tape off.
1st and 10. Brown to Herschel Walker. Right now for a McDonald's game break. Let's send you back to James Brown in Hollywood.
Cincinnati gave Miami all they could handle. That 44-yarder with 8 seconds left was going for the tie, but Doug Pelfrey missed it. Miami ekes out the win. Back to Pat and John.
3-3 at 3Com Park in San Francisco. 2nd and 4. Dave Brown. Back to throw it. Howard Cross, the target, came up with a catch. Might be enough for a first down.
One thing you have to do is have good pass protection for this short drop in this short passing game. And you see here again, the guards in the center have to lock on. You can't allow penetration there, and you can't allow guys to get their hands in those short passing lanes. The Giants did a pretty good job on that last one. Brian Williams, Greg Bishop on the left, Lance Smith on the right.
That unit playing together more has gotten consistently better. This is Hampton. Junior Bryant made the stop. He's got some big shoes to
I was
fill.
just going to say, Junior Bryant has a great big shoes to fill. He's number 90, and he's taken the place of Bryant Young, who I think is one of the best defensive linemen in all of football. Junior Bryant was on a development squad last year. And he's one of these guys who's playing his first year after a year on a developmental squad.
2nd and 8. Tyrone Wheatley and Charles Way, the setback. This is Wheatley. Wheatley's got some speed. Tim McDonald hangs on and wraps him out.
It's lucky Tim McDonald hung on there for a while to wrap him up, because we were talking to Tyrone Wheatley yesterday, and I said, were you ever caught from behind? And he said, no. I said, not like in grammar school or high school? No, never in his life has he ever been caught from behind.
Wouldn't that be a wonderful feeling?
I know it, yeah. I mean, from, people who've been caught from behind all their life.
Yeah.
Someone who's never, once he gets in front of someone, no one has ever caught him once.
3rd and 5. Walker is the man in motion. Brown swings it up the middle to Herschel Walker, I believe.
It's an interesting thing, and maybe it's because of the wide receivers, but Detroit on Monday night had so much success throwing to their outside receivers, especially to their left on Marquez Pope, and the Giants really haven't tried that much.
Well, Dan Reeves was telling us yesterday we can't do what Detroit did and expect it to be that successful, because the 49ers are going to be expecting that also, if that makes any sense. That's the end of the first quarter. 3-3 tie. And ball at their own 42. They scored first. The 49ers took it almost the length of the field to tie him up. Dave Brown, number 17, looks a lot more confident, as do the rest of the Giants after last week's victory. Aaron Pierce is the man in motion. Brown to throw. Incomplete, intended for Callaway. Did that hit the umpire?
It was thrown right at the umpire. And again, the umpire is part of the field, and he's going to be in there. Here's the umpire right here. So when you get those crossing patterns coming, they have to get on one side or the other of the umpire. See, he's moving up a little. Here comes Callaway, and Dave Brown throws it right at the umpire. It missed the umpire, but I think Callaway couldn't see it.
Couldn't see it coming because of that. More and more teams crossing in that area. Here's Brown back to throw. Gets it to Mike Sherrard. That's enough for a Giant first down at the 49er 46.
Yeah, on Marquez Pope. You know, you were wondering when they were going to do that. You know, just put an outside receiver out here on their left and arm Marquez Pope and just go to work. I mean, throw those ins, the outs, the hooks. If he tightens up on him, throw it up on him. Because one thing that he really doesn't have is real good speed. So you know that he has to worry about getting beat deep, so you got to put some pressure on him out here. He's playing tight now. You see down here at the bottom of the picture, he's right here.
He backs out. Hampton. Cut down by Dennis Brown.
And Dennis Brown came flying in there, as did Gary Plummer. That's one thing they're going to do is they're going to handle that line of scrimmage. Here's Dennis Brown right here. Just watch him. He just comes right there. No one blocks him. See, they're going to try and trap him right there. See, the trapper doesn't get there. He makes the trapper miss. And there's Dennis Brown and Gary Plummer high-low in Hampton.
2nd and 9. Sort of pushed it in the direction of Herschel Walker over his head.
Well, you know, he was trying to go deep down here to Mike Sherrard on Marquez Pope. Marquez Pope played him pretty well, and for some reason, Sherrard just ran out of bounds. Here's a matchup down here. Now, Sherrard has to get by him. Pope bumps him again there. Sherrard goes out of bounds right there. You can't run a pattern if you're out of bounds here. You got to keep going up.
You can run it, but nobody's going to cover you, and you're incomplete.
Right, and Sherrard was just covered on that time by Pope. I mean, Dave Brown was trying to go to him, but he didn't beat Pope.
Brown on 3rd down and long. Howard crossed the intended target. That would not have been a first down if he had come down with a one-handed catch.
Well, one good thing for the Giants, though, Pat, they did take their shot. I mean, I think that's one thing they had to do is loosen this defense up, and they should have thrown that one to Sherrard, or Sherrard should have gotten by Pope or done a better job on that. But the idea or the thought was there. The execution, that's another thing.
Mike Horan to punt it for the Giants. John Taylor back deep for the 49ers. Horan's number 2. He won't let Taylor return this if he can help it.
It's a great directional punt.
To his right. Taylor is going to try to handle it. Can't, loses the handle out of bounds. It'll still be the 49ers ball. At about the 14. That's where San Francisco will take over, but the score tied 3-3. The Giants and the 49ers even. The 49ers ball at their own 14. Last time they had the ball, they drove 76 yards and got a field goal. There's Steve DeBerg. Maybe he's got things working by now, listening to his tape back as he talks with Dave Brown.
What he's trying to do is get the defensive signals of the 49ers, then play him back, then give him to Dave Brown.
Brent Jones near a first down for the 49ers. The Giants continue to play that 5 defensive back look with Tito Wooten.
Yeah, and I think the 49ers, you know, they started out trying to run at it with Tito Wooten being the linebacker in there, but I think they probably realized that they have to play their game. I mean, when you have a Jerry Rice and a John Taylor and a Brent Jones, you can't let a Tito Wooten dictate that you're going to run the ball all the time. You got to get it to Jerry Rice.
Young back to throw. Derek Lavelle out of the backfield makes the catch, stopped by Tito Wooten.
And that's why Tito Wooten is in there, because they'd rather have a defensive back. If the 49ers are going to pass, they would rather have an extra defensive back in there covering the tight end or running back than have a linebacker in there covering it. But I think somewhere in this series we're going to see a pretty heavy dose of Jerry Rice.
2nd and 4. Pitch back to Floyd. Floyd got a couple. They were tough ones.
Yeah, and again, Tito Wooten, that's what they're trying to do. That's their game plan. They're up here in the press box. They're looking down and saying, you know, they got 29. They got a little defensive back in there playing linebacker. We got to be able to run at him. We got to be able to run at him, which in theory is pretty good. But in practicality, that's not what you are. Jerry Rice has only caught one pass today. And again, on this drive, I would anticipate they have to go to him.
3rd and 1. Steve Young. Derek Lavelle, a fine catch, fine effort. He got enough for the first down. Credit that one to number 20.
Yeah, because that was Jesse Armstead. He's the other linebacker that's in there. You see, here's Jesse Armstead right there. He's covering on Lavelle. Steve Young looks deep. Can't find anyone deep. Jesse Armstead made a pretty good play on that coverage.
To stay out there with him. Look.
But again, this is good coverage, though, because he wasn't trying to go to Derek Lavelle. He was trying to get the ball deep, and everyone was covered.
1st and 10. Young will throw it again. Going deep for Jerry Rice. Too deep. Right now, McDonald's game break. And we'll return you to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Pat, big day by Marshall Faulk. Take a look here. Nifty moves. He had a career high 177 yards, a career tying 3 touchdowns. The Colts 21-18 over the Rams. Let's take it back to Pat and John.
So now there's just one undefeated team. And the Dolphins had a tough time overcoming Cincinnati.
They were very close to non-undefeated teams.
2nd and 10. Young will throw it again. Nate Singleton makes the catch. Out of bounds, 1st down.
They're working out here in Felipe Sparks. They put Jerry Rice. They ran the up on him. Then he gets off a little here on Singleton. Then they run the out on Singleton. And Felipe Sparks had just given about a 5-yard too big a cushion there. But Steve Young sees that all the way. He knew that he was going to go to Singleton right off the bat when he saw Felipe Sparks playing that far off of Singleton.
It's a very warm afternoon in San Francisco. Steve Young to Derek Lavelle. Lavelle to midfield. Fumble. And they're still chasing, and it looks like the Giants might have come up with it. I think Jesse Armstead made the recovery. He did.
That's right. Jesse Armstead's in there. He's been all over the field. He's been covering. You're going to watch. Here's Jesse Sapolo. He's going to come out here. He's going to make a block there on Strahan. And then you see right there, just as Vincie Glenn hit Lavelle, he hit the helmet right on the ball and knocked it out of there.
And Armstead came up with it before it went out of bounds. Giants ball. Oh, what a beautiful sight. Hate to interrupt that, but it keeps rolling, doesn't it?
Yep. It'll be there tomorrow.
Sherrard was the man in motion. The fake to Hampton. Brown throws. Has a man. Mike Sherrard. They ran the ball so well last week, the Giants did, that it makes the play pass, the fake to the Rodney Hamptons or the Tyrone Wheatley's more effective.
And I think they found out that, you know, if this 49er team does have a weakness, it's on their pass defense. If Jerry Rice has a weakness, it looks like this is tape jobs. Every time the 49ers are off the field, they're working on a different tape job on Jerry Rice.
1st and 10 Giants at the 49er 32. 3-3 to Hampton. Found some room, stayed on his feet, kept digging. Lee Woodall finally brought him down. Here's the man who recovered the fumble that gave the Giants this field position they have right now.
Yeah, and the hit was by Vincie Glenn, the safety. He came up and hit Derek Lavelle and put his helmet right on the ball and popped it out of there. Jesse Armstead recovered the ball and then put his face mask in the dirt to keep himself from going out of bounds before he recovered it. That's smart going. That's a good hit by Glenn. Good hustle by Armstead.
2nd and 5. Sherrard in motion. Blitz time on Brown. He gets away, shakes it off, incomplete. Callaway, the intended receiver. The ball was deflected.
Yeah, Lee Woodall came from Brown's right side, so Brown should see him all the way, and no one blocked him. Lee Woodall is going to come from out here from that side. You see him? He's going to come into the pit right there. You see, and Brown was looking to his right, and then he looked down and he sees number 54 right in front of him. He goes, whoa. He made a little move to the left to dodge that sack right there.
Dave Brown's a big, strong guy, 6'5", over 220. Tough to get down. 3 wide receivers for the Giants. Herschel Walker in the backfield. All out blitz coming. Sherrard has it batted away by Marquez Pope. Good play.
Yeah, Marquez Pope was going to jump that one. You know, you can play behind the guy and try and reach over, or jump in front of him. Now watch Marquez Pope here. He's going to jump in front of this pattern. See, when he comes to the inside, instead of staying behind, he's going to jump in front and go for the interception, and it went right through his hands.
Here comes the blitz.
Well, of course, when you get the blitz like this and you bring over 4 guys, that means everyone else has to be playing man for man. So Dave Brown knew one thing: I got man for man. Mike Sherrard didn't beat Marquez Pope again.
Down the whistle. Just outside 45 yards this time. Deflected. Bounds into the end zone. They'll bring it back to the line of scrimmage. Somebody got a hand on it. Dana Stubblefield leading the cheers. I'm not sure if he's the one who blocked it or not.
Here, he's going to come inside. He's the guy that makes the block. You got a guy to the outside, a guy to the inside. Tim McDonald comes inside to block that field goal.
Lavelle from Young. Stopped by Coleman Rudolph.
So Derek Lavelle is probably pretty happy with Tim McDonald that Lavelle was the guy who fumbled the ball that gave the Giants a shot there, an opportunity. 49er defense stopped him, and Tim McDonald came in and blocked the field goal.
First blocked field goal since Charles Haley was here. That goes back a few years.
Yeah, you always put 2 guys on the wing to the side of the block, and you have a guy coming on his outside shoulder and a guy coming on his inside shoulder. McDonald came on his inside shoulder.
Vince Glenn made the stop.
One thing, this isn't a bad way to get the 49ers away from their passing game and away from taking them kind of out of rhythm, kind of take Jerry Rice out of the game. Doing some of those things is playing this nickel defense and making them feel good about themselves running the ball. Because then you get a lot of that 3-3 instead of being like 21-3.
3rd and 1. Well, you said you have to be in a shootout. You have to get in a shootout to beat them. Maybe this is the way you don't have to do that. Steve Young is hit hard and knocked backwards as he tried to sneak for the first down.
Boy, they played that one perfectly. They invited him into that hole.
Whoa.
And then they came in and doinked him right in the hole.
And out of the hole.
And back from the hole. See, here's the hole right here. He's going to come back here and try and go in this hole right here. See, he's going to take a little step back and then go to his right there, and he gets hit. He gets double hit there and knocked back. Now, this is all where they spot the ball. I mean, how do they know where the ball was when he got hit, forward momentum and all that stuff?
How far did he get knocked backward?
He got knocked back a long way.
Yeah.
They aren't going to measure that. They'd need a
couple of yards.
They'd need a couple of those things to measure how far he got knocked back.
First down as they bring out the sticks and measure it.
One thing about Steve Young, he's one of the few quarterbacks in life, not only in pro football, but in life, that will lead with his head. Remember a few games ago, we saw that one time he got his helmet knocked off and he kept playing without a helmet. There aren't many guys that will play this game without a helmet.
You're going to get our first look, John, at the 49ers first-round draft choice, J.J. Stokes. That's Jerry Rice. Stokes is on the other side. Rice. And up for a first, Thomas Randolph, the cover man.
Yeah, if you would just watch Jerry Rice, watch how he just keeps his hands out here like this, and then the top of his body doesn't move. His head doesn't move, and then his eyes will stay straight. Everything and from his waist up remains tight all the time. Just watch. You see that? The eyes don't bounce. The head doesn't bounce. Everything remains still, and the hands are always right there to catch.
Floyd doesn't get much. Maurice Douglas up to make the hit.
You know, J.J. Stokes is a guy you say playing his first play as a 49er in regular season, and they think that someday he is really going to be something. And you look at him.
He is big.
He is big. I mean, he's not only a tall guy. I thought he's like 6'4", 6'5".
He is.
Look at his leg. Yeah, I know. But I mean, he's thick, too. He got big old arms, big legs on him. This guy's going to break a lot of tackles.
He's got a soft cast on his hand. This is outside Floyd. Nothing's there. Tito Wooten up in a hurry.
Hey, he broke his finger in preseason, and then he had a big cast on his hand, and George Seifert was going to play him last week, and he felt the cast was too big, so they made a smaller, soft cast for this week. And I watched him in practice yesterday, and it didn't look like that finger or that soft cast was bothering him at all. I mean, he looked like he had pretty smooth hands.
He wears number 83. Split wide to the right. Rice on the other side, third and long. Young. Lavelle makes the catch. Remarkable catch. Remarkable throw by Steve Young back across the body. Sort of pushed it to him.
I know. He was trying to go to J.J. Stokes.
Yeah.
Stokes was out here on the right. He doesn't get open. Then Steve Young had to make this play. But Steve Young, he's trying to throw it out there to his right. You see there? He was trying to throw it to Stokes. He couldn't find him. And then he just bipped it over there. He just went like run, right, bip. You know, and just hit that thing out there to Lavelle. That's not bad. You don't get any points for form on that, but you get points for being a pretty good athlete and knowing what the heck to do when you got the ball in your hand and you don't want it.
Pretty good athlete describes it well. Here's Steve Young. He has Stokes at the 15 and a flag on the play.
Hey, you saw Steve Young with that kind of thing where he threw it sidearm, underhand to Lavelle. But that one there, he reared back and then threw that one like Sandy Koufax. That was the fastball.
Against the 49ers, against William Floyd, and you just knew that was going to happen to him. There's always
Personal foul, number 40 on the offense. Unnecessary roughness, a late hit, 15-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
This is just hustle. This is William Floyd. They're saying the play is over. Now, Vincey Glenn is number 25. He's made a couple big hits himself today. He was trying to come under control there, and then William Floyd came in and tried to pick him off the pile.
first down. Young to throw it. Looks one way, throws the other way. Right. And he's down. They had changed tape jobs both on his shoulders and his ankles a couple of times.
Well, that one was just undercut. You know, you don't see Steve Young throwing that many passes to an area that Jerry Rice has to jump. But in this one, he threw it high, and he made Jerry Rice go up for it. When Jerry Rice goes up for it, Felipe Sparks just comes underneath him. See Rice go up? Sparks just comes underneath him and hits him right underneath the legs.
I've got gigabytes, I've got megabytes. I'm voicemailed, I'm emailed, I surf the net, I'm on.
Under his own power after being down. Not in the game at the moment. Nate Singleton has taken his place. But Rice appears to be okay. Young to Lavelle. Almost broke it all the way. Does get down to the 6 or 7. Here comes Jerry Rice back.
I think on that play when Felipe Sparks hits him here, Jerry Rice just gets a wind knocked out of him when he fell there. He fell right on his right shoulder there. And the ball was underneath him in his shoulder. It looks like, you know, when you get up that high, that's the good news. The bad news is you have to fall that far.
And when you fall on the ball, as you said, that probably just knocked the wind out of him. Second, 2 yards they need. Lavelle to about the 1.
Well, the 49ers are staying with this running game. They're going to, I think what they're trying to do is figure that if they're going to play an extra defensive back, they're going to run, but they're trying to get the Giants out of that too, because they don't like that. They don't like to have to be able to run. But if you're going to have to be able to run, then Derek Lavelle's doing a pretty good job.
An excellent job. Steve Young over to the sideline, and we'll get the 2-minute warning. Score tied at 3.
Come on. A life to share.
Have you ever thought maybe I might get hurt out?
Tie the Giants and 49ers. That whole Giant defensive unit had gone over to the sideline during that timeout.
And now they're playing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defensive linemen. So they've gone from 5 defensive backs to get down here on goal line. Now they put a big load of defensive linemen in.
First and goal just outside the 1. Flag, touchdown.
Bar none does get excited.
Yeah.
First of all, he tried to break the ball. He'll talk some stuff to you.
It was a 1-yard run.
I know, but he does that, you know, of course, he's a guy that had the 15-yard penalty, too, that drove him back. Remember, they were driving. He got that 15-yard penalty against Vince Glenn, so he's saying, I'm showing you.
Bryant for the touchdown. For the extra point. Floyd for the touchdown. Our Aflac trivia question for this week. Which quarterback has tied the record for the most consecutive games with 2 or more touchdown passes? Most consecutive games with 2 or more touchdown passes. Which quarterback has tied it? Herschel Walker just outside the 10. Walker. Again, the Aflac question, which quarterback has tied the record for the most consecutive games with 2 or more touchdown passes? Brett Favre has tied the record, which was shared by Dan Marino, Don Meredith, and Johnny Unitas. Brett Favre could break it next week, and we'll be in Dallas, John and I, for the Packers visit. The Cowboys lost to Washington earlier today, so they could be angry. The Packers have had some rest. Walker. Herschel Walker just became the 6th player in NFL history to gain 15,000 plus combined yards. Don't forget, coming up, the Dockers halftime report. J.B., Terry, Howie, and Jimmy scores and highlights. And some surprising developments around the league today.
Who would have thought after 5 weeks that there would be one undefeated team, and it would be the Miami Dolphins? I think anyone would have guessed if there was going to be one, it would have been either this team, the 49ers, or the Dallas Cowboys.
Everybody thought Miami improved with their acquisitions, but you're right, who would have thought? Here's Brown. Incomplete. Intended for Sherrard.
Looked like Doug Riesenberg hurt himself on that. You know, he's had a bad leg all year anyway, but it is tough to pass protect here. But when you have to pass protect in that dirt, it is doubly tough. I mean, here you're in the infield. Here's Doug Riesenberg here, the right tackle. and you can see him trying to pass protect here, and it's just tough to get your foot planted or get it out of the way. He looked like that was just an old injury, just rolling around in the dirt there.
All the players were amazed at how hard this turf was yesterday, the infield turf. Here's Brown back to throw. Incomplete, deflected.
That's one of those zone dogs. You see who deflected it at? That was a defensive tackle, Dana Stubblefield. And we're seeing more and more of that where you rush fewer guys and you pull out your defensive tackle. Stubblefield is going to be right here, and he just drops back into the zone. See, he fakes a rush, and then he starts, and then he just goes back. You see him in the middle. He's going right here towards the umpire. He's right there. That's a tackle. He starts a pass rush, and then he ends up playing a zone defense.
The key is make them think you're coming and then back out.
And then you can send an extra linebacker, and he becomes the linebacker zone position.
Moran, punt, out of bounds. Check out the show TV guide calls Cool and Seductive this Friday. Chance Harper is caught up in a mystery more bizarre than any Hollywood movie. Catch Strange Luck Friday at 8/7 Central on Fox. Dave Brown.
He was knocked around in that infield. Anytime you have dirt on your back, that's a bad sign for a quarterback. I mean, you would like to see your quarterback come out of the game in this whole area be clean. Not even have to send it to the cleaner. When he comes back and he has all that dirt on his back, it's been a bad first half. He's been batted around a little.
Young operates with 3 wide receivers. There's one of them. Nate Singleton remains on the grass.
That's one thing, the 49ers do so well is they run after the catch, and the Giants are well aware of that. So what they're doing is as they catch the ball, right after they catch the ball, they are really belting them, and they've been doing that this whole first half. You see Singleton here gets by the zone. It's between the short guys and the deep guys in the zone. And then you hit it in there, and Jesse Campbell, the strong safety, number 37, gets over and makes the hit on Singleton right after he catches the ball.
Tough hit.
Well, you see, I mean, he brought that left shoulder in there. And watch him take that left shoulder, and then once he gets in there, unload it. Kind of like an uppercut. I mean, you get it in there, and then boom, you put your hip into it.
You get that kind of leverage, you can deliver a pretty good blow. Nate Singleton is aware of that.
That was a good read by Steve Young. That's that double zone where the safeties are going outside, the corners are coming up. They give you that middle, and you can hit it after you get past the linebackers before you get to the safeties. You have to hit it right in that hole. And we were talking about the yardage, the rack yardage, the run after the catch. You can see so far the 49ers have 137 yards, and they have 44 after the catch, which is really pretty good defense.
Yeah, that's not good for the 49ers because they have made their reputation, built a reputation about being able to run after they catch the ball. In fact, that's part of the schooling of the quarterback, is you lead them so they can run after they catch it.
See Nate Singleton here. It looks like it's his left shoulder.
Yep. Took a pretty good joke.
You think of wide receivers being fancy guys out all the time, but these guys have to be tough guys because when they go in that middle against any of these strong safeties are getting bigger and bigger. As they go in that middle against any of these strong safeties and they catch the ball, they are really, really getting belted.
Taylor comes wide right. Brent Jones moves left. Young back to throw it. Incomplete, intended for Rice. The Giants had good pressure on Young.
Well, Young had almost been perfect up until that pass. He was 11 out of 12 in the second quarter for 108 of those yards. So kind of had a slow start in the first quarter. Then he came back. They're going to take Nate Singleton in now for, well, they all have x-ray machines right here in the stadium. Now they're probably going to x-ray that left shoulder.
I think so. There's the book on Steve Young. 2nd and 10. A minute 10 left to play in the first half. 49ers up 10-3. Here's Steve Young. Going to take off. trots out of bounds at the 35. Jamal Willis came over to make a block for Steve.
Yeah, I think the 49ers, if they can get a touchdown here, can really put this game out of reach, and that's what they have to be thinking. You know, that if you're going to knock someone out, you want to knock them out early. Get this thing over with. And I think that this is a big thing because the Giants have given them a couple chances. The Giants played tough in that first quarter, and now the 49ers are able to move. Now they're getting things going. If they could put one up here just before the halftime, I think that'd break the back of the Giants.
Young to throw it. Flag on the play. Taylor, the intended receiver, came up with a catch, but there was a flag on the play. Derek Lavelle, I just found out, has already gone to the locker room with a bruised thigh, and they're checking him out. That's why Jamal Willis is one of the running backs now, along with William Floyd.
So the 49ers have two offensive players, Nate Singleton and Derek Lavelle, in the locker room.
Howard Rowe, the referee.
So whatever it was, Steve Wallace was arguing about it, saying it wasn't him, so you know it's going to go against the 49ers.
Illegal formation, number 74 on the offense. Only 6 men lined up on the line of scrimmage. Penalties decline. Brings up 4th down.
See, on passing downs, those tackles want to get back, and they get back and back off. And sometimes they get back so far, they line up in the backfield. Now here's Steve Wallace, and what they're saying is that he is not lined up on the line of scrimmage, that he is lined up in the backfield.
That's pretty close.
I think that's too close. I think that happens every game.
4th and 3, and the 49ers are going for it. Young to throw it. Incomplete. Flag on the play.
Well, that was a late
side of the field. Yeah.
That was a late one too. That guy thought about that one because he didn't call it for a while. Didn't call it. And then he threw that flag out there. And it's going to be against the Giants.
Jesse Campbell made contact just a little bit too early.
Pass interference. Number 80 on the defense. 1st down.
Number 80 on the defense? They don't have number 80 on the defense.
No, I think they were talking about Jerry Rice as number 80. He's the guy they threw it to. And as you said, it's Jesse Campbell. And Jesse Campbell looked like you said he got that left arm in there behind too soon. The right hand was okay.
1st and 10, San Francisco. Young back to throw it. Buying time. Gets it to Floyd. Floyd dragged down as soon as he made the catch by Michael Brooks. Steve Young in the hurry up. Less than a minute now, 35 seconds before they get the ball snapped. Less than that. Young looked one way, threw back to Rice, threw it out of bounds. That stops the clock. 30 seconds left.
I think that he wanted to run a pattern and get the outside receivers. It didn't look like they were ready. J.J. Stokes is on the left side. Again, he's playing his first game, so the only guy out there that was really running a pattern that knew what to do in this situation, I think, was Jerry Rice. J.J. Stokes look this guy out there looking like, I don't know what this is. I've never been on this page in the book before.
What are we doing? 3rd and 4. Stokes is split wide to the right. Rice is left. Willis in motion. Steve Young to Jerry Rice. How many times have we said that?
It's just a matter of time.
From 16 yards out, Steve Young has thrown a touchdown pass in 16 straight games, a team record, a 49er record.
And you knew in that first quarter when the 49ers were running, that it was just going to be a matter of time until they started throwing, and they started throwing to Jerry Rice.
And if you're Dan Reeves, that's really got to get you upset. A touchdown with less than 30 seconds left to go in the first half.
After a penalty.
After a penalty. Ryan's extra point is good. And it's 17-3. 49er lead. 26 seconds left to play in the first half. Don't forget to stay with us at the half for the Dockers halftime report with JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy. Scores and highlights from around the league today.
You know, the great thing about, I think, the scores and highlights from around the league, and you see the Cowboys losing and so on, is the great thing about this game in the NFL is you think you know who's the best, you think you know who's going to win, but the great thing is that no one knows who's going to win. I mean, who would say?
Who thought Detroit was going to win on Monday night?
Yeah, on Monday night, or the Washington Redskins are going to beat the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this is one thing you can darn near say for sure. Steve Young is going to go back. He's going to throw the ball left-handed. He's going to look for Jerry Rice in the end zone. They're playing a zone defense. Jerry Rice is going to find a hole in there. You see, he goes right. They didn't get the bump on him. He's going to find a hole in there and come under control.
The thing that comes to your mind immediately is how a guy with a reputation like Jerry Rice has, how can he get that open in the middle of his own defense?
Well, they rotated towards him. They rotated to him, so they had to zone on, which I don't know that you can play zone that close to the goal line. I never believed that. But the guy that rotates up has to throw his rhythm off or has to get a bump. The guy who rotated up in the zone missed him. The safety was coming over, and Jerry Rice ran right by him.
It is amazing, isn't it?
Well, it is. That you can come up there and not bump him. I mean, everyone says you have to be physical with Jerry Rice. Well, that starts with contact.
Yeah. That's usually a good beginning. This is Wheatley. Tyrone Wheatley. Hit and taken down. Wheatley's a big guy.
And he's a very fast guy. Now, if we look at Jerry Rice again, he's up here. Now, they're going to come up here, rotate this way. They should get a bump here and bring the safety over. Now, if we let it roll here, and you see Thomas Randolph doesn't get a bump. You see right here, he has to bump him as he goes by. You see, he doesn't bump him. The safety goes too far. No one hits him. Jerry Rice runs right by him.
Dana Stubblefield gets to Dave Brown.
And Dave Brown is getting some more grass stains on the back of that number 17.
Grass and dirt.
Now they got the dirt on the last series, and now that one he got some grass there. But that's what happened. You know, when they were able to run, keep the score close, then all those things make sense. Now the avalanche is starting towards the Giants.
17-3. As the teams head for the locker room, the 49ers lead the Giants.
Last week, over 27 million viewers experienced space above and beyond. Tonight,
Let's go.
see what all the excitement is about.
Yeah, and that's why when you have your opportunities, you have to score touchdowns. You can't play a ball control type thing. And the Giants had their chances. They didn't take advantage of it, and this is what happened to them.
Jerry Rice, with all of his other qualities, is a tough guy too.
Well, you know, they knocked him out on that one play, and he went out for a play, and like, oh well, we got him. And except here they come back. You see how they missed that bump on there? And I don't. Right, and the guy that is supposed to bump him can't come up on that short guy.
Herschel Walker, number 34. Bryant's kick is a line drive, bounces off Walker, finally picks it up, gets out to about the 25. The Giants need to get something on the board pretty quickly, because you know the 49ers are going to score some more.
Well, you know, it may be a little too late. I mean, they should have got on that board earlier. They just got one field goal. You can see what Dave Brown did last week, and that was against the New Orleans Saints defense. You can see what he's done today against the 49ers. And, you know, I still don't know why they didn't work on those corners more. They have one guy starting for the first time on one side and a guy on the other side who's a safety. Maybe they just don't have the wide receivers to do it.
I think that's part of it. We got Eric Davis out. That's Robbie Hampton. Dave Brown and the Giants passing.
Well, if you'd look here, he's passed 5 times to the left. That would be where Detroit had so much success against Marquez Pope. Then on the right side, they have a corner out there starting for the first time. They've only thrown one time out there. You know, so you would think that that's where they ought to be throwing, is to the right or to the left. They've only thrown 3 passes out there. They haven't worked those areas.
Here's Brown to throw it to the right. Pass caught by Mike Sherrard. That is, I believe, enough for a first down, and that's on Tyrone Drakeford.
Yeah, that's what they have to do, but they still. That was very good coverage by Drakeford.
Yeah,
I mean, that isn't an easy one. I mean, you can see Sherrard running in the dirt here, running and out. Sherrard just doesn't look like he has speed. He doesn't look 100% healthy. He's kind of limping around out there, and I think that's probably one of the Giants' problems.
Rodney Hampton up close to the 45, stopped by Junior Bryant. Junior Bryant, as John Madden said earlier, around the 49ers on the developmental squad, the practice squad, for a couple of years.
Well, you know, he has those big shoes to fill, because I was watching Bryant Young. You know, we did a preseason game, watched him on film in the regular season. We did their opener. And he's one of the best defensive linemen in all of football.
And like you said, he was never a rookie, and this is only his second year. Brown just has to fire it away. Michael Brandon put the heat on Dave Brown.
Well, you know, one thing, the Giants used a lot of bootleg, and when Dave Brown bootlegs, he bootlegs to his right. So the 49ers are waiting for that, and they just had Brandon, instead of, you know, covering when the backs go away, instead of chasing that, just going straight up the field, and he played bootleg all the way, and Dave Brown bootlegged right into Brandon.
Dana Stubblefield encouraging the park, the fans, to get involved. Sherrard in motion. Brown to throw it. Has some time. First down, Giants. Chris Callaway made the catch.
Yeah, we always talk about a bootleg. We see Steve Young. Here's what a bootleg is here's a quarterback, and he is going to fake to the back going to the right. You got the quarterback, the 2 backs go to the right. The quarterback fakes to him, and then he comes out here. Now, from this point on, he can either pass there or he can just run with the ball.
Hampton straight ahead across midfield.
I think the Giants are trying to go back to some balance now and some mixture. That's what they came in the game wanting to do. But when you do that and you get your mixture, the thing you have to get is first downs. And then after that, when you move the ball down the field, you have to get in. When you play the 49ers, you need touchdowns. Field goals will not get it done against the San Francisco 49ers.
Second and 6. Thus far, that's all they have. 17-3. The 49ers lead. Aaron Pierce in motion. Hampton to the 45. Junior Bryant made the stop again.
And that Junior Bryant, that was one of the areas that the 49ers were worried about. We talk about how well Bryant Young had played. Dana Stubblefield, we know, is playing great. But Junior Bryant has been in there. I mean, they haven't been able to take advantage of Junior Bryant playing in there.
Done a good job, Rodney Hampton. He's a very good, very effective, straight-ahead runner. And they haven't been able to take advantage of the presence of Junior Bryant or Michael Brandon. Brown to throw it. Just got rid of it in time, but he did. First down to Sherrard. Marquez Pope, number 23.
Yeah, and you have to be thinking, why haven't you been doing this all day? This is what Detroit did. They find Marquez Pope out here. Monday night, Pope was playing out. Now he's playing up, but he's not getting a bump either. So you just move him, make him think you're going deep, and then stop. Hey, one thing, Dave Brown's making some pretty good throws here, because these receivers really aren't getting wide open.
Dedrick Dodge over to help out Marquez Pope. Sherrard in motion. Giants driving. Brown throw. Pass almost picked off by Lee Woodall. Had it in his sights.
That's one thing about a linebacker. You don't have to get all the way back there. You just have to get back far enough to get between the quarterback and the receiver. That's what Lee Woodall did. Dave Brown was trying to throw to the outside to the right, and you'll see Lee Woodall come. See, they try and go with a little play fake there, and then Lee Woodall just gets between Dave Brown and the receiver.
Second down. Blitz coming. Incomplete. Flag on the play. Callaway, the intended receiver.
I think Tyrone Drakeford just got there too early.
No doubt about it. Merton Hanks pleading his case, but it won't work.
You can see Drakeford did get there too early. The only argument they can have is he got there early but didn't make any contact.
And was the ball catchable?
See, Merton Hanks is telling Drakeford to get out of the way. I'll do the arguing for you. You see, now he gets there early, and he did make contact with the left arm. Yeah,
There's
that's a penalty.
no flag on the play.
No flag.
Ruling on the field. Pass was uncatchable. Brings up third down.
Oh, that's a terrible call. No, I mean, the ball's not catchable because the guy grabbed him. I mean, this is a silly rule. If the guy doesn't grab him, how do you know if he catches it? Now, they can't make that judgment. I mean, the official threw the flag, and he believed that that was interference, and he was right. Then one of those other officials talked him out of it, and that was wrong. And Dan Reeves has the right to be upset. That's wrong.
Either that or Merton Hanks talked him out of it.
I don't think Merton Hanks did. I mean, he was there to talk him out of it, but I think when those four officials got together, one of the officials talked the other one out of it, the guy who was right there and called it, and that's wrong.
How do you know if it's catchable or not? Third down. Woodall came on a blitz. Norton intercepts the pass. Ken Norton. Cut back inside the 25 to the 24. The 49ers will take it over there.
Dan Reeves got taken on that one. Ken Norton, 2 Super Bowl rings with the Dallas Cowboys, 1 with the 49ers. Again, he did the same thing that Lee Woodall did. He wasn't covering a receiver. He was playing a zone, and he got in that lane between the quarterback and the receiver. Just batted the ball up in the air and then caught it himself and then joined that convoy.
Brought it back 46 yards. 49ers have it. 1st and 10 at the Giant 23. He'll strike early. With the screen pass to Floyd. To about the 17. For the 49ers offense, Nate Singleton has a separated shoulder. He won't be back as a flag on this last play. Derek Lavelle has a bruised thigh. Don't know if he'll be back or not. Personal foul.
Number 69 on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
Rod Milstead.
That's a right guard who's starting in place of Derek Deese. Again, on that screen pass, those linemen, they get a chance to get downfield and get some hits here. You can see what Steve Young did here, his pass distribution. 7 passes to the wide receivers, 7 to the tight ends, and 2 to the running back. That's one thing about him. He throws it to all the positions and to all the guys that play the positions.
Here's Steve Young to John Taylor. And Taylor wrestled down on the dirt at about the 28.
There's a guy who's been a great player for the 49ers over the years, is John Taylor. He's playing his last year. He's already announced that he's going to retire. I think that's one of the reasons that they drafted J.J. Stokes. But John Taylor is a guy who, has always caught the tough pass. is a good blocker, has been a great punt returner, and a real tough guy. I mean, this guy, as wide receivers go, is one of the toughest that's ever played.
And very quiet. You never know it.
Yeah, but he's an inspiration to the rest of the guys who play with him. They all his teammates love John Taylor.
Giants showing blitz. Young back to throw it. Outside to Jamal Willis. Not much.
Yeah, I always wondered how it would be like John Taylor, though, to announce before the season starts that you're going to retire, that this is your last year, and then, you know, everything you do, the training camp's going to be your last training camp, the opening day is going to be your last opening day, you know, the regular season will be your last regular season.
How do you play with that on your mind?
Yeah, I don't know. I've always thought that once you say you're going to, you probably have, but John Taylor has a different constitution.
And you probably should. No reflection on his play because he's still playing tough. 46 yards away to Doug Bryant. And he is good. And that will do a great deal for his confidence. He's hit twice today after the disaster in Detroit.
To go down and drive one. But I've been on the road for a month and a half. I haven't taken him up on it yet.
Wheatley returning the kickoff. The 49ers, with 7:49 left to play in the third quarter, lead the Giants 20-3. Excellent. First and 10 Giants. And the handoff is to Rodney Hampton. And again, for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Pat, the Cowboys were hurt in their effort today, losing one of their main offensive weapons as Troy Aikman on the first offensive series goes down with a pulled right calf muscle. He did not return in the game, and as you see, he's walking gingerly. He thinks he'll be out at least a couple of weeks. Back to Pat and John.
That's disastrous news for the Dallas Cowboys. Second. How about 6? Brown. Pump fake. Lost the ball. Still scrambling. I think the Giants got it back.
That was Oliver Barnett. He's another guy that's playing inside for Bryant Young. He's number 72. He just comes straight up the middle. Watch him here. He just breaks through and comes straight up the middle. He goes right over his guard, comes right up. Oh, and he hits Brown right around the neck. And then he had the ball and lost it.
And the 49ers had the ball and lost it.
That Oliver Barnett, he went right over or through Lance Smith. I mean, he just took Lance Smith and threw him to the side and went up and grabbed old Dave Brown right around the neck. It's getting ugly for the Giants.
Wheatley is the deep back. With Way. Brown rolls left. Chris Callaway comes up with a catch. That's enough for a first down. A good throw by Brown.
That's a definition of getting it the long way. You come and you roll all the way to your left and then to throw it all the way back out to your right as far as you can. Chris Callaway just lays out and catches that thing.
Heck of a catch.
That was something. But Dave Brown sprinted all the way out to the left, so he had to throw that all the way across the field. That was probably a 70-yard pass when he got through with it.
Brown. Incomplete. Intended for Howard Cross. Couldn't hang on.
Those safeties make it tough in there. We saw in the first half the Giants safeties, and that time was Merton Hanks. You just get that free safety, and he's sitting back there, and anything that's going to come in or across, he just gets a jump on it. And Merton Hanks got a jump on that one and made a collision in the middle.
Second down and 10. The Giants at their own 45. San Francisco leading 20-3. Dave Brown puts Callaway in motion. Handoff is to Hampton. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, the Giants can't control the line of scrimmage. I mean, no one moved on the Giants line of scrimmage. Herschel Walker went in there to do some kind of lead flop back, and he got knocked back out. Watch Herschel Walker. He's going to come in there to lead and the line of scrimmage. I mean, there's no control here. Now watch Herschel Walker. He comes in, boink, he just gets knocked right back. What kind of block's that? And then the Giants, they just got whipped. That's the definition of you just been whipped.
3 wide receivers, 3rd and long. Here's Brown back to throw it. And the pass is caught by Callaway. Came down, tried to dance back in bounds and get in.
Look at this interesting spot here, Pat. They're putting it right here. The real sticks are right there at the thing. So you see the guy knocks them down. I mean, he pushes them down when they get there. So all that's there is that cloth marker. But it was a first down.
We don't have a blimp today. We do have a bouncing balloon. I hope nobody is up there in that. They got the first down. 1st and 10, and too much time, I believe. Again, we don't have a blimp, but we have a biplane.
5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
The Giants spent a little too much time figuring out if that was a first down or not. Then they took too much time getting the next play in.
So it's 1st and 15. Clock running in the 3rd quarter with the 49ers leading 20-3. Here's Brown. Chris Callaway again.
Yeah, now they're starting to do the things, working on these corners, working the outs and ins, and then you can get these guys, coming up and then try and get a deep one in behind them. And if they had a game plan, I mean, this is what they should have been doing all along.
And the key to the whole thing is protection.
Yeah, it's protection, and it's the wide receivers getting open. I mean, again, that has to be a real good throw by Dave Brown, because none of these receivers today on the outside have gotten wide open.
Fake to Hampton. Brown has Walker wide open. There's a flag on the play. Walker steps out of bounds at about the 28-yard line of San Francisco.
The referee saying that ball was tipped. So therefore, if the ball is tipped, there can't be any pass interference. This is going to be defensive holding.
Interesting.
Illegal contact. Number 22. Penalties declined. Result of the play is completed pass for first down.
First down, Giants inside the 49er 30, about the 28. They need to get something happening on this drive.
Well, and that happening has to be a touchdown.
Cross to the 3. Stopped by Merton Hanks. Howard Cross came open late.
That was a short drop and an interesting fake by Dave Brown, because he comes back and then he's going to hit Howard Cross right here, who's going to delay. You see him, and then he comes free now. He goes like he's going to block, and he delayed. And Dave Brown waited and waited for him, and then let the linebackers get deep, and then Howard Cross came loose after.
That was a well-executed play. 1st and goal at the 3. Hampton lost the ball now. It's going to be 2nd and goal at about the 18, and I'd be upset too.
Dan Reeves, he's had so many things to be frustrated and upset about today. that this one goes towards the top of the list.
A loss of 14.
I formation, pitch out. He catches the pitch out, and then it wasn't a bad pitch. It was just when he went to put it away, again, he probably has sweaty hands and arms, and the ball just slipped right out of his arm. And how many times will you see that happen to Rodney Hampton? How many times do you see that happen to any running back in the NFL?
Right. Second and goal from the 17 now. A loss of 14 yards. Less than 2 minutes left in the third. Brown wants a timeout. So the Giants take a timeout with 1:55 left to play in the third.
Murder.
My wife will kill me.
Scandal.
20-3, the San Francisco 49ers lead. Second down, Giants. Second and goal from the 17. Hampton goes in motion, no running back. Brown, a throwback to Aaron Pierce. He's cut down at the 15.
Dana Stubblefield played that thing perfectly. They tried to roll to their right. Dana Stubblefield to tackle. He saw the action coming down back to this side. He stayed with it. You see now Brown is going to go this way, throw it back here. Stubblefield comes right down the line with it.
There's another guy who didn't play like a rookie ever.
No, he never did. You see they try and get all the action going away. Brown stops, and watch number 94 right here. He comes right down the line and makes the tackle.
Third and goal at the 15. Callaway in motion. Incomplete. Tim McDonald hit him right in the chest and bounced off. Brown threw it so hard it would have been hard for anyone.
Well, and he had to throw it that hard. I mean, Dan Reeves called that play. He has to see the double coverage there and know that that thing didn't have a chance. Woo! But I'm glad I'm up here.
D'Aloiso to attempt a field goal from 32.5 yards out. His field goal is good. It's 20-6 with less than a minute left in the third. Giants' best looking drive by far of the game. They're still down by 2 touchdowns. Pat Summerall with John Madden back at 3Com Park in San Francisco. 20-6. 49ers lead the Giants with 58 seconds left to play in the third quarter.
You know, Dan Reeves loves the trick plays. You wonder if he would try an onside kick here.
A bouncer. Handled by one of the up men, one of the linemen in the wedge. Handled pretty astutely. No fumbles, no loose balls. And the 49ers will take over at their own 33-yard line. Derek Lavelle, we told you earlier, had a bruised thigh. That's electrical stimulation. Rodney Hampton leaving. Steve Young going deep in the direction of John Taylor.
I wonder if something was wrong with Rodney Hampton, his hand or wrist or something. Remember when he fumbled that ball? Because that was a strange thing. It wasn't a bad pitch or anything. He just kind of took it, and it just like he didn't have any handspring or something. The ball just kind of flew out of there.
It looked like he had it, and then it just flew loose.
Yeah, so he's going in to be checked.
45 seconds left in the third quarter. 2nd and 10, San Francisco. They lead 20-6. Young to throw. To Rice at about the 40.
Yeah, we'll look at Rodney Hampton here and see if he gets anything on the hand. You know, the ball just slipped out of him. It just didn't look like he ever had control of it. And he jumped on him. It didn't look like he hurt anything there, but I would bet that if he hurt his hand, that his hand was hurt before that play. Yeah. And that hurt hand before that play caused that play.
And that's the end of the third quarter. And swap ends of the field. So one more to go, and the 49ers leading the Giants 20-6 at 3Com Park. One more quarter to go. 49ers 20, Giants 6. William Floyd, the lone setback. Young back to throw it. Jerry Rice had enough for a first down, was slung down by Sparks.
You know, the other way that the 49ers move the ball around, you look 0 for 5, 9 out of 15, between 6 to 10 yards, 7 out of 8, 2 to 4 between 11 and 15, and 2 out of 4, 16 or more. So they not only spread it out to all the positions and all the players, but they also spread it out depth-wise, you know, short, medium, and deep.
And that way you keep everybody happy.
And you keep the defenses honest.
William Floyd takes the handoff. That was first down. Again, Derek Lavelle suffered a bruised thigh, and Jamal Willis has been most of the playing time since the second quarter.
I think anytime you see a guy like Derek Lavelle with some kind of, what you call it, an electrical stimulator,
right, and
he got an electrical thing in his hand and something going down his leg, stimulating the muscle in his leg, I don't think he's going to be back the rest of the game when he puts that thing on.
Would take him too long to get ready. Here's Steve Young. Gets it to Ted Thompson. Backup tight end.
I wonder what would happen if they would just go in with a stimulator. I mean, if Derek Lavelle just put his helmet on and just ran in and started playing like that.
He might go straight up.
You don't know. I guess you're not sweating or anything. I mean, you probably can't do that.
Maybe if he's grounded, I guess it's okay.
Well, you know, they had, he was a starter. Jamal Willis, like you said, is a rookie backup. Ricky Irvins, the other halfback they have, isn't active today. And they either have to play the rookie or go a lot of one back, which they've been doing also.
Here's Young back to throw. He lost us. Complete to Rice.
Yeah, that's one thing about Jerry Rice too, is he didn't get a first down there, but Jerry Rice will go. Jerry Rice will go every place on the field to catch a ball. I mean, short, medium, and deep, inside, outside, everywhere you have to go to catch the ball.
And always has.
Yeah, and it doesn't make any difference. And you never hurt him. I mean, he always jumps up, and no matter what kind of hit or what he has to do, he always plays it. He's always a pro, like, you can't hurt me.
Tommy Thompson, under the heat already before this game, has punted only one time. That was 14 yards. This one's a little bit better. A lot better. High kick. The 49ers are going to down it at about the 2-yard line. That's Dedrick Dodge. Down it inside the 5, about the 2. 43-yard punt. That's what you're looking for. The kickers might have escaped some heat today.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the all-new Plymouth Grand Voyager, the next generation of the minivan. By Visa, official card of the NFL. By Levi's Jeans, we put more than denim in every pair. And by Miller Lite, when you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good.
Something sinister looking about Alcatraz. Tyrone Wheatley, the ball carrier. Remember, Rodney Hampton was taken to the locker room, we think, for x-rays. Dan Reeves was talking about what a long flight it was out here. If things don't change, it's going to be a long flight back.
is going to be a heck of a lot longer back. He said, you know, he's always been in the middle of the country. He's been in Dallas and Denver and never had that coast-to-coast flight, but coming to a game and then going back after a loss is a lot of distance.
Here's Dave Brown to Wheatley. Wheatley gets some room. Again, for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio.
Hey, Pat, there's a Rocky Mountain High today. The Colorado Rockies 2 out, 1 on in the 9th. Kurt Leskanik on the mound gets Jeff Reed to ground out. The Rockies had trailed 8-2 in this ball game, beat the Giants 10-9, and wrap up a playoff spot quicker than any expansion team ever. Back to Pat.
Back at 3-Con Park, 1st and 10 Giants. Wheatley gets the handle. Strong, powerful, and fast. Merton Hanks made the stop.
I'd like to see Tyrone Wheatley get in the open field and see if anyone can catch him.
He says no one can.
I remember Ron Wolf for the Green Bay Packers, the general manager of the Packers, before the game. I asked him, you know what he knows about Wheatley, and he says the only thing I know is if he gets behind our guys, we don't have anyone on Green Bay that's going to catch him.
In addition to being a sprinter on the track team, he was a hurdler. 1st and 10. Brown fakes to Wheatley. Juggling catch out of bounds. Mike Sherrard incomplete.
I'll say this, as far as penalties and juggling passes and those kind of things, the Giants have had a lot of bad luck today.
Yeah, they have.
I mean, they had one where an official overturned a call, and then they had an interception on the next play, and they didn't get their wide receivers open a lot today, and they finally get one open. The ball gets out there, and they juggle it before they get out of bounds, and they're just kind of bad things waiting to happen.
I tell you what, Dave Brown's been pretty good. Incomplete. Knocked away by Gary Plummer, who normally doesn't play in passing situations.
Well, you know, and Dave Brown has had to be pretty good because, I'll say this, his receivers haven't really gotten open today. You know, you think that they could work on Marquez Pope. You think they could work on Tyrone Drakeford. You think they could do some things, but they haven't been able to. They haven't been able to get open. Plus, they've had a lot of batted balls. That was another one that was batted on the line of scrimmage. So they've had defensive linemen batting the balls. They've also had the linebackers batting the balls and making interceptions.
3rd down. 34 times Brown has thrown. 35 coming up if he has time. Gets it to Howard Cross. That should be enough for a Giant 1st down. Woodall made the stop.
Dennis Brown was right on him. I mean, that was one thing that Dave Brown wanted to work on, you know, stay strong in the pocket. In fact, he used a word last week that he wanted to have cement shoes in the pocket because Steve DeBerg had told him that he was moving around. He was a little antsy, a little bouncy in the pocket. And he said that's what he's been thinking of, is staying strong in the pocket, and he has been today.
Brown, incomplete, intended for Walker.
The Giants just can't get open. I mean, they have some ideas, you know, to get Walker out on a safety, you know, to get a wide receiver deep on Marquez Pope. They've done it, but they just haven't gotten open. You know, I think that X-ray we saw going by there, I think that was the X-ray, just looking at the screen here, I think that was the X-ray of Rodney Hampton's hand.
Maybe we'll have some word on what the X-ray shows in just a minute.
We may even take a look at it because they go out the X-ray and then they bring it back and show the doctor. There it is right there. I didn't see anything yet. I'm not a doctor.
Brown gets it out to Walker. No place to go. Tim McDonald led the 49er defense. At the end of this game, John and I will select the Miller Lite player of the game. Pass complete from Brown to Walker. Brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, how come everyone, when they look like at an X-ray or something like that, they say, hey, you ought to do it. They always say, I'm not a doctor. Well, of course, I know you're not a doctor. But why do you always say, look at the X-ray and say, well, I'm not a doctor, but you know you're not a doctor.
It's a very good point.
You don't have to say I'm not a doctor, but I'm not a lawyer, but.
Brown. Incomplete. Aaron Pierce, the target.
Yeah, Merton Hanks is limping off now. He came on that blitz. He came free.
There's a Giant player down behind Dave Brown.
See, here's Merton Hanks here, and he's going to come on the blitz here from this side. You see him, he looks like he's going to cover. And then right there, Jumbo Elliott just comes out and just hits him right on the thigh, the left thigh.
And it's Elliott that took the brunt of the sting, and he's still down, and so is Merton Hanks down.
I think it was his head on Merton Hanks's thigh.
I think you're right.
That was very alert by Jumbo Elliott. I mean, he was blocking his guy, and out of his left periphery, he had to see Merton Hanks coming on that blitz, and he left his guy go and came out and put his helmet right on Hanks's thigh.
Boy, that 49ers secondary has got some real problems now with Merton Hanks down. Eric Davis already out. Jumbo Elliott, who was involved in that collision with Merton Hanks, went to the sideline, walked off. In the meantime, Mike Horan in the punt. John Taylor signals fair catch. Flag on the play. Did not have room after he signaled for the fair catch. One of his blockers and one of the Giants cover men ran into him.
I don't know that that wasn't his own man that ran into him now. It looked like Marquez Pope was right down there. What's number 23 is Marquez Pope. It's Pope that runs into him, but maybe he was pushed in there. Willie Beeman is number 21 of the Giants. Maybe they're saying that he pushed Pope into Taylor. Now you got something.
Now we're discussing it.
See, here it is. John Taylor calls for a fair catch. Then he's interfered with right there by Pope.
Kicking team was blocked into the receiver. No flag on the play. First down.
I think that's a good call. No flag. Like Jumbo Elliott is headed for the locker room. San Francisco leading 20-6. Let's have a big cast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the National Football League is prohibited. First down, 49ers. William Floyd gets the handoff. To about the 18. Ray Agnew tripped him up.
You know, one thing, you talk about that West Coast offense, and what is it? Basically, it's a short three-step drop. And you can see Steve Young did that 28 times. Then the next type of drop would be a five-step drop. He only did that 5 times. And then the deepest drop is a 7-step drop, and you see he did that 1 time. So, again, the West Coast offense, quick 3-step drops, get rid of the ball quickly. And hope you have great catchers and runners.
Young will roll out to Brent Jones. Extends his arm and throws the ball out. Tito Wooten on the coverage.
Yeah, if we look at this about a 3-step drop, if the quarterback takes a 3-step drop, then the receiver can run 3 to 5 yards before he makes his cuts. Now, if the quarterback takes a 5-step drop, then the receiver and all the receivers can get a depth of 10 to 12 yards before they make their break. So the depth of the quarterback can determine the depth of the route. So 7-step, of course, would be the deeper pass route.
3rd and short. Brent Jones didn't quite get it. Now he will. From Steve Young. Jesse Campbell.
Yeah, if you talk about the 3-step drop, now you're going to get rid of the ball quickly. And how quick is quickly? Well, Steve Young has been averaging 2.37 seconds. Now, that really frustrates a defense. You know, you're trying to get there. You want to get pass rush. You want to get blitz. You want to do all these things. But from the time the ball snapped until he releases it is only 2.37 seconds.
And you almost couldn't get there even if no one blocked.
No, that's right. I mean, that's about 2 Mississippis and a half.
Mississippi.
Yeah, because even when you were playing touch tackle, you couldn't rush until you gave him 3 Mississippi.
Right.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, and then go. But that, I mean, Steve Young throws it like about 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 and then he throws it.
Right. Dennis Brown is number 96.
Well, you don't like to get in that position with a football jersey on.
Second and 9. Clock running with 5:55 left to play, and Young back to throw it. And now he decides he won't throw it. First down.
See, that's the other thing with Steve Young, though. If he can't throw it in 2.5 Mississippis, he can run with it. And that's what he does, because you're not going to get there. Now watch the way he does it here. I mean, he'll get the ball back here. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Now if it's not open, he sees that big lane, and he'll just take it. Then he'll get a first down doing that. And that's a tough thing about Steve Young. And you'll have defensive coordinators who tell you that they think that Steve Young, in addition to everything he is as a quarterback, is the best running back in the 49ers team.
Certainly one of the fastest. Here's Steve Young throwing the ball, batted backwards.
And that's the thing. Again, you know, that 3-step drop in 2.5 Mississippi, you're going to get a lot of batted balls, because those guys that are saying Mississippi, now they're just going to come in there and just get in that lane and just get their hands up. And that's exactly what happened there.
Why don't we try Massachusetts?
No, Mississippi. It's always Mississippi. Ray Agnew looked like the state of Mississippi that time to Steve Young. Steve Young's going back there to throw it. Here comes big old Ray Agnew. He blocked the whole lane. No, it's always been Mississippi.
Young, incomplete. Tito Wooten upset with himself. He had a shot at it, he thought.
Tito Wooten's played the whole game as a linebacker. Those are the scouts. Because you always wonder, now the Seagulls, when this place closes tonight, you know, when all the game's over and all the people go, the Seagulls descend on this stadium.
No matter how many times they change the name of the stadium.
Oh, yeah, they don't care, but they know, and I still don't know how they know. I mean, how they know there's a game, and then how they know when the game's over. Well, I'll guarantee you, when the game's over, there'll be 1,000 of them here.
Well, they know the game's over when everybody leaves.
Well, where are they now?
Steve Young. Rice had it on his fingertips. That was almost a perfect throw.
Now, you don't see that happen often. I mean, that was one of the things that Dan Reeves was saying about Jerry Rice yesterday, is he never leaves his feet. He always runs through the ball. Again, they don't get any bump at all on Jerry Rice, and he didn't run through that one. He'll usually keep his feet and run right through that ball. And I don't know if he got tripped up or not. I mean, Thomas Randolph was right there with him, and whether he tripped over his foot, I'm not sure, but Jerry Rice usually doesn't go to the ground.
Tommy Thompson to punt it, and his last kick was a good one. This one's a good one. Arthur Marshall with the fair catch back at the 15-yard line. 4:45. It was a 47-yard punt by Thompson. 4:45 left. 20-6. Rodney Hampton broke a bone in his hand, and Jumbo Elliott went out with a burner.
Kenny, I could be Kenny. Well, you know, he hit his head when he blocked Merton Hanks. They said that he got burners down both shoulders.
Callaway is the motion man. Brown to Wheatley. Wheatley taken down behind the line of scrimmage by Junior Bryant. That and the play of Junior Bryant has been a very, very pleasant surprise, I'm sure.
Well, I think one thing that helps Junior Bryant is having number 94, Dana Stubblefield, there with him. And the Giants really have to worry about Stubblefield. And you can see they're blocking back and doubling him. And then they're letting Junior Bryant have some lanes to run in, and he is taking care of his responsibility. But a big part of that is this guy right here that's right next to him. Dana Stubblefield, one of the best defensive tackles in the game. And he'll usually be doubled.
2nd and 6, Brown to throw. Has Aaron Pierce. Wrapped up by Lee Woodall. Gets out close to a first down. Got a first down. 20-6. 49ers leading.
One thing I think that, you know, from the Detroit game, I think a little from this game, but basically from the Detroit game and the injury to the 49ers, people are going to find out that the way to attack the 49ers is just pass all the time.
This pass to Pierce again. 49ers have a bye coming up, and they can't wait.
I think they're going to be able to use that bye to get a little healthy, but the 49ers really don't have a pass rush and don't have a lot of good cover guys.
Brown to Wheatley. Slipped on the turf, which they were saying the grass here is in great shape. The players were. Here's Brown to throw it. Outside of Walker. Got about 6.
They're talking about the 49ers having a bye next week, Pat. George Seifert is hoping for a win today because his daughter is getting married. His daughter Eve is getting married next weekend. So he said it'll be nice to, you know, at least have everyone having real smiles at that wedding and not fake smiles.
Real smiles come when you win. Out of sync.
She's marrying a guy named Bill Dunkel. So George Seifert's daughter, as you know, like a week from today, her name will be Eve Dunkel.
Eve Seifert Dunkel.
No. He said that she's given up his name.
Prior to the
going to be Dunkel.
We got a false start on number 17. Coming out without the ball from underneath the center. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
Coming up without the ball from underneath.
I don't know. George Seifert coached so much today, I think his shirt tail came out in front, didn't it?
It did.
I mean, usually fat guys do that. I mean, he's too skinny to have that shirt tail out in front.
He looks like he's ready.
He looks like rigor mortis is set in.
He looked like he's ready to kick something.
Or be kicked.
Thinking about the wedding, maybe.
He just got the bill for it.
Flag on the play. 2nd down. Pass incomplete. Intended for Pierce.
What kind of stance was he in?
That was a ready.
What, yeah, but ready to do what?
I don't know what.
It looks like he's been doing something.
Well, he's used to having his pockets full, so he's giving him room.
Defense.
But when his daughter gets married, he won't have full pockets anymore.
3rd down.
How's that?
You won't tuck him in.
He's smiling a good wedding smile now.
I think he gave up. He just doesn't care.
Well, he cares about the game.
And I know, you know, he's going to say, you know, who are you to laugh? And of course, I'd say the same thing.
Well, you haven't got any daughters.
No, I know it, but I mean, I always have my shirt tail hanging out and all that stuff. But George never did that.
I never saw you in that stance, so.
No, I don't know what that is. Now, Dan Reeves always looks good. He really does. He always, you know, has the shirt and the tie or the coat. He's one of the few guys that doesn't wear any clothes that has writing on it. I think he's the only coach in the league that doesn't wear clothes with writing on it. I have no idea what he's thinking. I have no idea. I couldn't even guess.
4th and 3, they're going for it. That's Wheatley. Tyrone Wheatley lowered his head, and he might.
No, he went out of bounds. He went out of bounds before he lowered his head. Thought he was playing in Canada.
He lowered his head, though.
I know he lowered his head, but he was out of bounds. I mean, he ran out of bounds, then he lowered his head and dove. What's that all about?
Maybe that's what George was getting ready for.
Yeah, I mean, watch him here. Now he's okay if you stay in bounds. Now watch from here on. Once he steps out of bounds, you can't be lunging.
Well, but his shoulders were in bounds.
Yeah, but watch where the ball is. Watch where his foot is. Watch that right. The left foot right there is out of bounds. Now he's lunging.
So the 49ers take over at the Giant 46.
And Reeves, this has to be a frustrating year for him. I mean, he was talking about 11 wins and going to playoffs and
challenging the Cowboys, the 49ers. 2 minutes left. William Floyd, the ball carrier. 2 to go. The 49ers. Maybe less than 2 to go for the Seagulls. They're ready.
They have to, but I don't know. I wouldn't. If I found like a whole bunch of food or something, I wouldn't tell my buddies till I was done eating what I wanted.
Young still plays. Dumps it to Floyd. To the 40. 40 to the 40. Stopped by Robert Harris.
Did you know what Steve Young's first name is? I always thought it was Steve, but it's John.
I thought it would be Brigham or something.
No, it's John. His name is J. Stephen Young. And I asked him what the J stood for, and he said John. And I said, well, why didn't you go by that? And he said his parents wanted him to be named Stephen, but they...
If I lived there, I wouldn't tell anybody. William Floyd. Bowles for a first down. Jesse Campbell tripped him up.
But you know, they are scavengers. Seagulls are scavengers. So that, I mean, they'll eat all the time and eat just about anything.
How do you know that?
I don't know. I just heard that. I mean, I've just been here a long time, and usually a couple things you can say, that the fog will come in at night and the seagulls will come in after the fans leave.
In October and September are going to be wonderful
Are the nicest weather. It's a well-kept secret. This one looked like he's already put a little in there.
Yeah.
But he didn't tell his buddies. A real leader. Hey, you know, and a real guy. Remember that deal, the hot dog deal of Seattle, where he sent the hot dogs over to the Seattle players and he got fined? He just sent part of their fine. He paid a fine too for sending the hot dogs over.
You helped him out, didn't you?
No, I just said he ought to pay. He owes him.
No, there's where he got the order.
Well, he got the order. Send me some hot dogs at halftime. He sent the hot dogs at halftime and they got fined, so he said that's not right. So he made a check out of $2,000 and sent it.
He's 26 out of 40 today. Today's game is produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman. Studio is produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. The executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Dave Brown. Steve Young. San Francisco 20. The Giants 6.